1 count as Simpson, a junior here at Father Ryan, was part of the state wrestling team that won the state championship here in March. So congrats to that wrestling team for a great performance. And a full count worked by Simpson with the second of the two O'Dwyer brothers, John O'Dwyer, who's catching and will be batting third here this afternoon. Simpson hits one foul off the back net. Count remains full at 3-2. A little bit of a wind here, Donley, so blowing in from the southwest. Pitch here to Simpson. And called strike 3, so that's 2 outs for the Irish. And O'Dwyer will be coming up to bat. John O'Dwyer, a senior catcher. Been part of the baseball program for all 4 years here at Father Ryan. So definitely an experienced member of Coach Mascari's lineup.
And he's getting quite a few looks from collegiate ball teams.
Yes, he is.
Already been a part of 3 major recruiting baseball camps over the winter up in D.C. I think they went to one even out in California.
Yeah, they did. It was. I've heard that both the O'Dwyer brothers are being recruited, and if they're able to play as a package deal, all the better. As O'Dwyer lines one out to center field, that'll be a base hit for the Irish. First hit of the game for either team. And he'll be on first here with 2 outs. As the left-handed hitting first baseman Curtis Turnmeyer comes up here for Father Ryan. Turnmeyer, a junior, wears number 26 here for the Irish.
Well, and here's the starting lineup. We'll first do batting order. We've already seen Andrew O'Dwyer. He's number 1. Hitting second would be Kirby Simpson. Third, who just had that hit for the Irish, was John O'Dwyer. Up now, bat for now in the 4th spot is Curtis Turnmeyer. We have on the 5th, Palmer Hill. 6th, Connor Brown. He's the designated hitter. Batting 7th, Cameron Towns. Batting 8th, Sage Warren. Batting 9th, Will Granger.
Brendan
Granger. And our substitute for tonight, who I'm assuming he's going to be our pinch hitter and pinch runner, will be Jay Alexander.
As Turnmeyer fouls one off here. And it's 1-1 after a pickoff to try to get O'Dwyer off. Was unsuccessful, so the count is 1 ball and no strikes here on Turnmeyer. And Turnmeyer chases that one up in the zone. Definitely upset with himself after swinging at that one.
And Juan, what a great day for an Irish baseball game.
Definitely is.
Actually, in fact, all Irish athletics. To the left of us, we have our first Father Ryan track event of the season. Up on the Sunrise practice fields, we have not only the Irish boys lacrosse team, but also the girls varsity lacrosse team up there practicing as well. So obviously a busy day for the Irish.
And to our right, we've got the
softball game.
Softball. They're playing against Centennial. I believe they just had their first pitch a little while ago. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention number 10, Jay Stenga for Brentwood Academy is tonight's pitcher for Brentwood Academy. Left-handed against the left-handed Turnmeyer. And that's a called third strike against Turnmeyer, so 2 strikeouts for Stenga in the inning. And that'll be all for the Irish here in the bottom of the first. We'll take a short break, and top of the second, we'll be coming back with the BA starting lineup. And welcome back to Irish Baseball on the Behind the Crest Network. As number 12, Warren Preston, a junior, is up to bat here for BA. That was a low strike there from Andrew O'Dwyer. And Preston chases the second one up in the zone. That's a quick 2 strikes there. As O'Dwyer looks to get a quick first out here in the top of the second. And Preston fouls one off to our right. I think that might have
Fine Arts Center.
I think that might have hit the theater.
Juan, something I forgot to mention in the preview. Today's broadcast has been made viewable by Dean Johnson and his crew at atwsportscast.com.
And a low ball to Preston. Count is 1-2 now on the leadoff hitter of the second inning. And that's high. Evens up the count at 2-2. O'Dwyer in with the pitch. Foul out of play. Goes over the net. Now, Donald, we mentioned in the we talked about before the game that this is a really spacious field, a lot of space there in the outfield, and we noticed that the hitters weren't hitting a lot of balls out of the park, but they were definitely making good contact and hitting them into the gaps.
This team definitely has a very good hitting record. They're just not hitting them, way out to the warning track. They're a very consistent team. And as I was speaking, pop-up goes to Andrew O'Dwyer, the catcher, and that'll be the first out of the inning.
The O'Dwyer battery in full effect here today at Father Ryan. Andrew starting and pitching, and his brother John behind the plate catching. As that one almost hits, can't tell, looks like Clay Morrison, a senior. I'm brushed him back a little bit. And that one catches the outside corner. It's 1-1 here on Morrison. Morrison taps that one to the backstop. So it'll be 1-2 here. That one skied out to left field. Charging it was Simpson. He's not going to get there. So base hit there from Morrison, and he's on with 1 out.
Seems like Morrison caught that with just barely the top half of the baseball bat, causing it to have some backspin off the ball. If you didn't see it, kicked right into Kirby in the face. He almost missed it.
Yeah, it did, because Kirby definitely stopped short. If he had dived, he might have caught it, but as it was, he didn't want to let it get by him and let the speedy Morrison get extra bases.
And one thing I did notice during pregame is the wind will be a factor on any throw from the outfield into home plate.
Definitely will be now as number 13, Kelton Reynolds, another junior here for the Eagles, steps up. That one's lined past the shortstop Towns. That'll be a base hit as Morrison advances to second. Throw in from Simpson back into the infield. So first and second here for the Eagles. As Morrison is lifted for a pinch runner. He's listed at number 11. We do not have a reported number, a name for number 11.
Irish sporting their traditional all-white home uniforms. Brentwood Academy in their home white pants, but a more spring training-esque jersey, blue navy sleeves with a red chest.
And the Eagles in red uniforms with blue sleeves, white numbering. As number 9 for the Eagles, another name we don't have listed on our roster,
Good fastball there by O'Dwyer.
Brings the count to 0-2. Oh, that was a strikeout. I'm sorry. It's a little late there on the scoreboard. So 2 outs here for the Eagles. And number 15, Evan Beto, a sophomore for the Eagles, steps up against O'Dwyer with 2 outs and men on first and second for the Eagles. Ball 1 to start the at-bat. And Beto fouls one back to the screen, evens the count at 1-1.
You know, I was pretty disappointed we'd have to come up here, but now that I think about it, I'm going to have an opportunity to see Ben Weissel try to break his mile record for the 7th time in the last 3 months.
Definitely a privilege here we have at Father Ryan. We've got some great athletes. As that one bounces off O'Dwyer's leg, he recovers and gets it to Turnmeyer at first for the 3rd out. So O'Dwyer's able to escape to strand 2 runners at first and second, and the Irish will come up to bat here in the bottom of the 2nd. You're watching Behind the Crest Network, streaming of Irish baseball. And we're back from Bill Bruner Field and at the top the Giacosa Stadium here from Father Ryan High School, as we're in the bottom of the 2nd, as the Irish are scoreless against Brentwood Academy. Up to bat now is number 20 for the Irish, Palmer Hill, playing 3rd base. A junior for Coach Mascari. Very big power bat here for the Irish. Definitely one that if the Irish need a big hit, they can count on. Gives an open stance with his front left foot open toward 3rd base. And ball 3 to Hill. 3-1 count here to open the bottom half of the 2nd. As Stenga delivers, and that's high, and Hill will get the walk.
Be the first walk of the night for Stenger. Is that his correct last name? Stenga. And Hill sprinted down to first base. You thought he might try to take second there, see if they could catch the Eagles napping. But as it is, Hill's on first. And that is something Coach Mascari teaches his players.
Always hustling.
Yep. Never want to be caught off guard. Always hustle.
Exactly. As Brown squared for the bunt and pulled back as the pitch was outside. That's ball 1. Thought they might try a hit and run or a sacrifice. As Brown squares again and pulls back once again. So a 2-0 count here on Connor Brown, a senior for Coach Mascari. Played basketball and baseball his freshman year and has focused on baseball ever since. Squares the 3rd time, and they try a pickoff, and Hill just dives back under the tag. He's safe.
And I can't quite tell, Juan, but it appears in the Irish bullpen is number 22, Sam Donato, warming up.
So an interesting choice there for Coach Mascari. I don't think he would pull O'Dwyer here after 2 innings of successful work. But you never know what the man nicknamed Iron Mike might have up his sleeve.
Well, in the last broadcast, Jay Alexander was out there for a good 3 innings, just throwing the ball around. So it might be the same thing, just getting him warmed up and ready for perhaps a 6th inning.
Good call. 2-1 count here to Brown as he squares again. And that one's high, 3-1.
Connor Brown is a true designated hitter for the Irish. When he can crack it, it goes a long way.
Yeah, very gifted in terms of height.
And powerful as well. You know, I'm surprised he can get that low.
And really, I feel like he might be trying to bunt here because in the last couple minutes, this wind has definitely picked up. And I can see your hair blowing in the wind.
Yeah, I'm not too happy about that, but, you know, it is what it is.
And even though Brown might be a pretty powerful hitter, anything in the air at this point might just be deadened before it even gets to the outfield.
You're right, absolutely correct.
As Brown draws a walk on another high ball. So that's first and second here for the Irish with none out.
That's 2 walks in a row.
So we'll see if Cameron Towns, a senior 3-sport athlete, can get something going here with none out and 2 on for the Irish.
Towns, who just 2 months ago signed to continue his football career at Butler University in Indianapolis. So congratulations to him.
And I know his parents are very well involved in all the Irish athletics community, as Mrs. Towns is dedicated to supporting this baseball program. She works the concession stand at every baseball game, and they've been to every football, baseball, and basketball game this season. So definitely a very committed family here for the Irish.
See a couple familiar faces in the stands. Coach Bruce Lucier, Coach Mr. Pat Lawson, Mr. Stuart Magnus, Mr. Jim Langdon. Jim Langdon's son-in-law. Had a little freeze there. Son-in-law is Iron Mike. So he loves to be a part of this program as well.
He really does. Towns squares around, gets the bunt down.
Throw
gets away. And that is Hill coming around to score here for the Irish. That'll be the first run of the game. So Towns reaches on an error by the third baseman, number 7, Bryce Jarvis, a sophomore. So now the Irish have first and third, still with none out. As Sage Warren, sophomore playing right field today for the Irish, will come up to bat.
Number 31, Thomas Swafford, is currently warming up in the BA bullpen. He's a powerful left-handed pitcher from what I've observed so far.
So a left-handed dominant pitching staff here, at least so far, for the Eagles. As Warren swings and misses here, strike 1. Wind's calmed back down, so you might see Warren try to hit away and drive a couple more runners in. As Stenga kicks and delivers. Bunt here.
Trying to get a squeege in.
And it worked to perfection. The throw by Stenga got by the catcher, number 13, Reynolds.
That was the correct term, right, Juan? Squeeze?
Squeeze, yes.
Yeah.
There's 2 types of squeezes in baseball. The suicide squeeze, where the runner is attempting to steal as the pitch is thrown.
Yep.
Or the safety squeeze, where the runner waits from third base until the bunt gets down. So the suicide squeeze definitely risk-reward, but the safety squeeze is a lot more conservative of a play.
When I said that, it just didn't sound right when it came out of my mouth, so I just needed to make sure I had it right. 4th consecutive bunt attempt. Ball tips off of the nub of the baseball bat.
And Mascari in to talk to Granger. Granger batting 9th and playing second base. as quickly as he was up in the bullpen, Sam Donato is now back on the bench. So Mascari, like you said, just probably wanted to get him a little bit warmed up in case he needs him down the line. As Andrew O'Dwyer stands on deck. And Granger misses that bunt attempt. So a 2-strike count here on Granger. With first and second, that's Towns on second and Warren on first. He squares a third time, pulls back, and called strike 3 there on Granger, so he's out. That's the first out here of the inning. As we're back to the top of the order, and Andrew O'Dwyer steps up for his second at-bat. O'Dwyer, a senior, flew out to right field to open the Irish batting order. So he'll get a second shot here at Stenga just an inning later. Curveball there, ducks in. Strike 1 there on Andrew. Andrew, I believe, was the O'Dwyer brother who was a kicker for the football team back in the fall.
Yes, he was. He was one of the kicker and a linebacker. John was also played linebacker. He was injured for half the season due to I believe, a broken rib.
And that one hits Andrew O'Dwyer. Ooh, he's down. Crawling on the ground in pain.
I think that hit him right in the lower abdomen.
I was going to say his knee. I couldn't tell. It might have been his abdomen. You're right.
From where we were sitting, it almost appeared like he threw it. It hit the ground and bounced over him.
And that can almost be the worst, is when it bounces off with all that spin. So now the coaches and the umpire come out to visit O'Dwyer. And he's trying to hobble it off. We'll see if he can stay in the game. That'd be a really tough blow if he's not able to come back. Been a dominant pitcher so far. Shut down the Eagles in the first 2 innings.
So they're going to Coach Mascari pulls O'Dwyer and it will put in a pinch runner.
Is that Malavey maybe?
I think it is Malavey. I believe he is one of the designated. It is Luis Malavey, a senior. He's one of the designated pinch runners on this squad. Another blow for the Irish. Nick Monterosso on the JV squad just came back from the training room. He's wearing a boot.
We need everyone to clear the track for the start of the 4x800.
So pitching change for the Eagles of Brentwood Academy.
As Stenga is lifted, and that'll be...
He'll have completed...
That'll be 1 1/3 innings for Stenga.
2 walks, a hit by pitch, and 2 strikeouts. Is that correct?
2 strikeouts, both in the first inning.
So not the best.
A new pitcher will be Thomas Swafford, a left-handed junior for the Eagles.
And as he prepares to take on these last 2 outs of this bottom of the second. Sorry. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. You're watching Irish Baseball on the Behind the Crest Network.
And we're back here with Irish Baseball on the Behind the Crest Network. Preston's gotten his warm-up in. As Simpson steps in for the Irish. Simpson struck out looking in the bottom of the first inning, excuse me. As he takes ball one low and outside.
Thing we forgot to mention was Swafford is going to have to be pitching with bases loaded.
Yeah, definitely not the situation you want to come into as a reliever. As Brown sits on third, Towns on second, and now Malave on first. 1-0 count here. 2-0 count, excuse me, on Simpson. As that one's lifted out to left field.
It's a blooper.
Coming in, and that hits foul.
Wind pushed that one big time.
Definitely did. Wind blowing in from right field. Blowing from right to left here. It may be a little bit more magnified up here on top of the press box than it is on the field, but I'd definitely say there is still an impact down there. So 2-1 here on Simpson. Hitters count as he looks to drive in a few more with bases loaded.
Nice curveball there by Swafford. It's going to be called just outside, if not mistaken. Yes, it is.
3-1.
3-1.
As Swafford kicks and delivers. Ball outside. Simpson draws the walk. And that's Brown coming in to score. So 3-0 here for the Irish. And walks definitely playing a key in today's game, Donley.
And what a way to start for the Irish. After an unproductive first inning of batting, the second inning has been full of some hits and unfortunately a hit by a pitch for O'Dwyer.
So we'll see if we'll see the severity of that injury.
I do not think he's being observed by the trainers. And that gun you just heard is the starting gun for the track event. We'll be hearing that quite often within the next hour and a half or so.
I believe that was the 4x400 relay?
4x400, yes.
As O'Dwyer takes ball up and out. So 1-1 count here on John O'Dwyer. O'Dwyer had the first hit of the ball game with a single. As he takes a curveball for strike two.
Rips one down the third baseline, but foul.
So he'll get another crack at it here with 2 strikes and 1 gone in the second inning. Pitch up and outside. Takes ball 1, so a 1-2 count. As the Irish lead 3-0 in the bottom of the second. Pitch from Swafford over the shortstop's head. That'll drive in a couple. Throw in from left field. Oh, I guess I was getting a little anxious there. The Coach Mascari held up. Who was that? I believe Malave.
Appears to be Malave. We can't, yeah, this is Malave. Just see his head over the dugout of Brentwood Academy.
But as it is, 1 run comes in. So still bases loaded here as the Irish push the lead to 4-0. And that gets through as 2 more will come in. Malave. And I was anxious once again. I thought Mascari would wave him around, but he elects to take the 1 run.
Don't count your chickens before they hatch, Juan.
Guess that's some good advice to take. Now Hill takes another shot. Bounces off Swafford's glove. And there's no throw. And Simpson comes around to score just like that.
first baseman for the Eagles calls time. He's going to go speak to Swafford.
So still one out here in the bottom of the second, and the Irish have jumped out to a 6-0 lead. As
go for the double play, and they do so.
So that's all for the Irish. In the bottom of the second, they put a 6th spot on BA, as we'll head to the top of the third, and the Irish lead 6-0. You're watching Irish baseball on the Behind the Crest Network. And we're back from atop Giacosa Stadium, overlooking Bill Bruner Field. As number 2 for the Eagles, Cole Marciniak, a senior, steps in for the Eagles.
Marciniak. That name sounds familiar.
Golf, maybe?
I don't think so. Maybe, perhaps football.
In any case, O'Dwyer, after being hit by the pitch, is back pitching for the Irish, as the left-hander kicks and delivers, and Marciniak squares around, bunts one foul down the first base line, evens up the count at 1-1. So Dwyer battling off that injury and takes the mound here in the top of the third, looks to set down the Eagles once again. Marciniak with an open stance toward third base and chases that one outside. 1-2 now. We've definitely seen a lot of small ball here in the early going, as we talked about the wind being a huge factor, as Marciniak fouls one back to our right. I believe that's the third ball of the afternoon that may have hit the Fine Arts Center.
That one did it again, almost hit Mr. Brown, our theology teacher.
Better watch out. That sign that says beware of fly balls is definitely not lying. As O'Dwyer kicks, and that one misses up and away. Like we said, the wind has definitely been picking up. It's been off and on. Sometimes it's been gusting of up to 15, and sometimes it's been pretty calm. But Mascari's been instructing his hitters to bunt and get a lot of ground balls, and they found the outfield, and that's all you can ask for, is they've been driving in runs.
And, man, this field looks magnificent right now. Last week when we broadcasted, it was muddy, and it seemed like it was, not green. It's lush as can be right now.
As that one gets behind John.
I think it hit him. Maybe came right off his foot. I couldn't tell from here. It's either a walk or a hit by pitch.
Either way, that puts Marciniak on.
So man on first base for the Eagles.
As number 5, another name we don't have, playing right field, steps in. He jumps back. That one almost hit him, but jumped out of the way. So ball 1 from O'Dwyer. As number 1, Easton Klein, a sophomore, stands on deck behind us. Grounded to Towns at short. He'll look to second for 1. Over to first.
And
double
it's
play.
2.
Almost beat that throw, but the throw from, I believe that was Granger out at second base, just made it there in time.
Yep. Towns to Granger, Granger to Turnmeyer for 2.
That'll be a 6-4-3 double play there. So 2 outs quickly here for the Irish, as O'Dwyer are able to escape that mini jam. As Klein steps up here for the Eagles, with Jarvis on deck.
Nice curveball there by O'Dwyer.
As that one bends in for strike 1.
Sam Donato once again warming up in the Father Ryan bullpen.
As that one is a low strike. So 2 strikes on Klein, as O'Dwyer only needs 1 more to get out of the inning. As Klein hits one to the screen. Nice job turning this one down. As that one just misses outside. So 1-2 count here from O'Dwyer to Klein. As number 7, Bryce Jarvis, a sophomore, playing shortstop today for the Eagles, sits in the on-deck circle. The Eagles occupy the third base dugout, visitors dugout, and the Irish the first base home dugout, off to our right. As that one bounces in front of John O'Dwyer. So even up the count at 2-2. As Klein looks to get on here, start a 2-out rally.
Nice turnout by some Father Ryan students. I can count about 15 to 20 sitting on the burn. That's the upper left side of the center field. We got a hill right there. That's where most of our students tend to sit if we ever in a baseball game.
And that's a called third strike there on Klein, as the O'Dwyer brothers get a celebratory high five. So that's all for the Eagles in the top of the third, as the Irish lead at 6-0 here from Bill Bruner Field. You're watching Irish Baseball on the Behind the Crest Network. And we're back here from Bill Bruner Field as Town steps in, takes ball 1 up and outside.
Towns 0 for 1 today. He made it to first base on an error. Swafford has currently thrown 14 balls, 8 strikes with 6 balls.
I'm sorry, that looks to be... Did that hit Towns? Because he's standing on first, and now Warren's stepping up to the plate. So that must have hit Towns. As Warren skies went out to right field, charging in and making the catch there.
Hit by pitch.
To retire Warren. So Towns stands on first with 1 out. And the left-handed hitting second baseman, Brendan Granger, steps up here for the Irish.
He's 0 for 1 as well. He struck out.
And a 1-1 count here to start the at-bat for Granger.
Pitch was just outside the right side of the strike zone.
kick and delivers. That's low and outside. 2-1 count
Need
on
the
Granger.
Father Ryan girls
Nearly the same spot where his first pitch ended up.
report to the track, please.
If you can hear out behind us, that's Coach Robert Kent of the girls track team announcing the upcoming events here for the track as Granger swings and misses. Towns tries to steal second, and he's there safely. Granger threw his bat. I guess he let go of his bat. Can't say that was on purpose.
Appeared like he just lost his grip on it.
Yeah. So as it stands, it's 2-1, or 2-2, excuse me, on Granger as Town slides into second. With one out, they'll try to bring him around. That one skied foul in front of us to the left. Remains 2-2 here on Granger. Granger, a single sport athlete at Father Ryan, playing only baseball. But his 3 years here for Coach Mascari as he ducks out of the way of that one. Bend it inside.
And Juan, I have our two players that we don't know their names. Number 9 playing first is Ryan Victory. He's the guy. He's the pitcher who threw the no-hitter against Innsworth earlier last week.
And Granger hits one out foul over the third base line. Hits the,
Women's restroom.
I believe
facility.
that's one of the concession stands. Brought to us by Hunt
Concession
Brothers
stand
Pizza.
and I think restroom. I'm not positive about
I
that.
think the restroom's the other building across from it. So Granger still has a full count. Towns takes his lead off second. As Granger hits another one back to the backstop. Good at bat here. I believe this is an 8-pitch at bat already. Excuse me, this will be the 7th pitch of the at bat. As Swalford gets the sign, kicks, fires. Granger gets one
Here are the
over his
results.
shortstop's
Girls
head.
shot put. In
As
first place, Ferguson from
this time I didn't get
Father
anxious and
Ryan.
Mascari kept Towns at third.
From St. Cecilia. Second
See, I
place,
take a lesson every so often.
Thompson, Father Ryan.
So that's first and third here for the Irish as Granger on first with Towns on third across the field.
Father Ryan with a throw of
And
31
O'Dwyer will take his third at bat of the afternoon.
Just heard Coach Kent say Gina Smith just won her second field event of the afternoon. So congratulations to her.
And O'Dwyer fouls the first pitch off to the left.
Dwyer fakes the bunt, pulls back. Just outside of the right of the strike zone.
Results from girls pole vault. Fourth place.
So 1-1 count here on O'Dwyer.
Camp.
Flied out to right field in the
Third
first
place,
inning. He's
Shannon.
hit by a pitch in the second.
Second
Ribbed
that's-
there by
Robinson,
O'Dwyer.
St. Cecilia. First place.
As
St.
Excuse me, Granger tried to get a little greedy.
2 inches.
Took a big turn off second base, but he's back safely under the tag. So 7-0 now for the
Results of
Irish.
Girls high jump. Second place.
Almost cost
Appleby, St.
Granger.
Cecilia. First place. Baroni, St. Cecilia.
So Towns comes in to score on that single there by O'Dwyer.
Correction, that's the results of the pole vault. Second place, Appleby, St. Cecilia. First place, Baroni, St. Cecilia, clearing 7 feet.
And a
High jump,
ball to
Curve
Simpson.
ball.
St. Station Camp was fourth.
Excuse me, that was a strike.
Daniel
Late call
Station
there.
Camp third. Robinson, St. Cecilia second. And the high jump winner, Parlett, St. Cecilia. 5
So an
feet
0-1 count here on Simpson. And strike 2 there. As O'Dwyer is on first and Granger on second here, and the Irish lead 7-0 here in the bottom of the third inning. Ball hit on a line. And the only play they'll have is at first. So Simpson is retired 6-3. But the runners advance. So with 2 out Granger moves to third and O'Dwyer to second. And they'll give John O'Dwyer a shot here with 2 on and 2 out. See if they can drive another one in.
We encourage everyone to attend that meet. It's a fantastic meet.
O'Dwyer steps in, having singled in the first inning. 2 hits on the day here for the Irish, or for O'Dwyer, excuse me. As Granger took a big lead off third, but he didn't draw a throw there from the catcher. And O'Dwyer has a 1-0 count. Here's the pitch comes in. They do throw back to third this time.
And they call it.
They caught him. So Granger tried to get a little greedy there off third base, but he is picked off. So the Irish get 1 here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. We'll come back with the Eagles in the top half of the 4th. You're listening to Irish Baseball on the Behind the Crest Network.
Bat.
And we're back here from Bill Bruner Field in the top half of the 4th. And I believe that's Marciniak stepping up.
It's Jarvis.
Jarvis, excuse me. As he takes a strike, that's 2-1. Gets one foul. That lands onto the track.
That is O'Dwyer's 54th total pitch. He's had a total of 20 balls and 33 strikes.
So definitely getting his work in. Is another one fouled off. Whoa. I think that might have hit the bleachers.
That was inches from hitting someone.
That was very close. We need a warning horn up here. As Jarvis takes low and outside, full count. Jarvis 0 for 1 with a strikeout. And he takes that walk. So he'll be on first base with none out as the Eagles look to get something going here in the top of the 4th.
Next at bat for the Eagles is Warren Preston. He's 0 for 1 with a flyout.
So Preston, the righty,
We need all girls who are participating in the 100 hurdles.
steps in here against the left-handed O'Dwyer. The numbers would say it's a good matchup for the righty, as the lefty-righty matchup would favor the hitter. So strike 1 there to Preston.
Just a fair warning for our audience. The starting gun is about to go off for the next event in the track, on the track.
And low and inside there from O'Dwyer to Preston. Evens up the count at 1-1. So thank you, Donnelly, for that warning. That's definitely something to keep an eye out.
Sure you jump, Juan.
Oh, I'm sure I would. I jumped the first time it happened.
After the pep rally this afternoon.
In which the senior class won the Spirit Award.
First time this year.
We've been defeated by the junior class each of the last 2 pep rallies.
Been slacking a little.
But hey, if you're gonna get one, might as well get it to close out the year.
I think we're gonna have one more pep rally.
Oh, really?
So hopefully we'll keep that one and win that one as well.
Really? Awesome. And Preston fouls one off down the first base line into right field.
Decided to swing a little too late. Just caught it barely on the last second.
He did. So a 1-2 count here on Preston. The right-handed hitting junior playing third base here for the Eagles.
And all Father Ryan girls sprinters. Need to see all the Father Ryan
As
girls
O'Dwyer looks in for the sign.
down here with the distance runners with Father Ryan girls.
And he's ready. Kick delivers. Grounder here to second. Could be 2. Over to Towns for 1. Down to first. Skips away from Turnmeyer.
Throw was just a little too low for Turnmeyer to grab a grab the mitt on.
But John O'Dwyer backed him up. Good play there by O'Dwyer to make sure that Preston did not advance past first base. So 1 out for the Eagles. As Clay Morrison will come to bat here. Morrison wears number 27 for the Eagles.
Something else we probably should consider, Juan, is Irish are going to have a couple games over. I think they're going to have one tomorrow as well, and a couple series over the weekend. So how many pitches are Coach Mascari going to allow O'Dwyer to throw? They're going to want him to, stay healthy and be ready for hopefully the postseason.
Well, I know as of right now they've been going with a 3-man rotation between O'Dwyer, Keegan Fogue, another junior, and Joseph O'Connell, a sophomore.
Oh, really?
But
O'Connell.
O'Dwyer started two of the last 3 games, so you might see him try to limit these pitch counts the next couple games in order to keep his arm fresh for the latter half of the season.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe John O'Dwyer also does some pitching as well.
I wouldn't be surprised. I guess it runs in the family.
Both the O'Dwyers have quite a very good arm.
I also wouldn't want to meet him on the football field. They're a menace when it comes to tackling.
Nice curveball there by O'Dwyer, just outside.
The 2-1 here as the gun goes off, and Donnelly, I'm proud to say I didn't jump. Restrained myself. So 2-1 here on Morrison. Pitch is down and away. So a 3-1 count. As O'Dwyer looks to deliver to the lefty, and that's low and outside, ball 4. And the O'Dwyer brothers will have a little chat. And when I say little, I mean little, as about 3 seconds elapsed between that conversation.
I think, since they are twins, they probably have telekinesis.
I wouldn't be surprised. And Mascari comes out, talk to O'Dwyer, both O'Dwyers. So Morrison's on first after that walk. Preston, after reaching on the fielder's choice, advances to second. And with 1 out here in the top half of the 4th, we'll see if the Eagles can get anything going against this Irish defense that so far has held them scoreless. Now, Donnelly, I don't see any action on the track. Can you tell what event was going on?
They just did I think the 100-meter hurdles for the girls. No one in Father Ryan competed in that event. That was just the first flight. I think most of our girls are sprinters. They don't do the hurdles. We only have, I think, 2 on our actual, if you want to say, roster. Andrew Triplett's one of them. He's actually getting recruited by a couple of schools out of Birmingham. So good for him.
Yeah, congrats to Andrew. That's been one of his main passions here over the last 4 years at Father Ryan. So good to see him getting rewarded for that. As Reynolds chases one up in the zone for a second strike of the at-bat, trailing 0-2.
Reynolds is 1 for 1. He had a single.
That was in the second inning, I believe, right?
I believe so.
As the Eagles, were retired 1, 2, 3 in the first inning. As Reynolds fouls one back here. I tell you, that theater is in a precarious position when it comes to these foul balls.
I mean, you can see the dents just from baseballs probably alone. I bet it gets some attention from softball as well.
Well, at least for softball, it's got to go over a couple big buildings before it hits the roof. Whereas here, as long as it clears the net, there's no telling where it'll end up. 1 and 2 here on Reynolds.
Good rip there by Reynolds.
Sliding catch by the right fielder, Sage Warren. Great play there by Warren. And that's the second out of the inning. That could have been disastrous if it had gotten past him. That would have easily scored 2 runs. But 2 outs here. After Reynolds flies out to right field, we'll have Victory. He struck out swinging in the second inning. Victory wears number 9 for the Eagles, playing first base.
We were talking about before the game, you know, his name's Ryan Victory. I'm hoping that's going to be some foreshadowing.
Hoping for us, because you don't want a BA player with the name
Definitely
Victory
not.
succeeding. But Victory did pitch the game last night and held the Irish to 1 run. That game was scoreless going into the bottom of the 6th, as BA scored 2 runs. We'll talk about that in a second. As grounded to Towns and scooped by Turnmeyer. Great play there by Curtis Turnmeyer to end the inning on the ground out. 6-3, Towns to Turnmeyer. And the Eagles are retired here in the top half of the 4th. We'll be back in the bottom half of the inning. You're watching Irish Baseball on the Behind the Crest Network. And we're back from atop Giacosa Stadium overlooking Bill Bruner Field as the Irish lead BA Eagles 7-0 in the bottom of the 4th inning. John O'Dwyer stepping up here for the Irish.
And Juan, I wish we could turn this camera and face the athletic complex. I just witnessed an FRA athlete, I'm assuming, pole vault over what appears to be, gosh, I don't know how tall that is. It's probably a fourth of the
Soccer goal?
football
Oh, the goalpost.
goalposts.
Yeah, it looks to be just a little short of that.
I cannot believe that he just got over that. I'm amazed. Triplett just came in 3rd in his event, his first event of the year.
Looks to be the 100-meter hurdles for the guys. And O'Dwyer ahead in the count, 2-1. Groundsman to second, gets by.
Good save. Well, actually, I thought it would be a good save by Marciniak. It goes in and out of his glove. So Badeau had to come out and hurry to grab that ball to prevent O'Dwyer from scoring, from getting second.
I know he's fast. I don't think he'd be fast enough to make it from first to home, just getting past the second baseman.
I've seen crazier things.
That may be true. So with John O'Dwyer on first, we'll have Turnmeyer up to bat.
Actually, O'Dwyer was taken out. They're going to have a pinch runner.
Can't tell who that is. We'll get you a number as soon as we get one. I believe they ruled that a hit. I don't think they
Faulkner,
would rule
Matt
that
Faulkner.
an error.
It was called a hit.
Matt Faulkner, a sophomore. Mostly does time in the outfield.
He's also one of the pitchers. He pitched in our last game we broadcasted.
He did.
It's more of a mid to late inning, mid to late game pitchers. Ball goes past the catcher for BA. Faulkner easily manages to get to second base.
But on the strikeout, Turnmeyer is retired. Faulkner does take second, like you mentioned. So we'll have one out here, with Faulkner on second and believe Palmer. Yeah, it should
Palmer
be
Hill.
Palmer Hill. Yes. Just want to make sure that wasn't a pinch hitter.
Hill is 1 for 1. He was walked and then had a single in, I think, the third inning. He was one of the first guys to get on base in that huge scoring.
Actually,
Actually, the second inning.
Led off the inning with the walk.
That's right. He was the first. They had 3 walks in a row. Then they had the new pitcher come in, Swafford. He walked one in, and after that, we've just been scoring like crazy.
Really have. Put up a 6 spot in the second inning. And it was all clear sailing from there. As Hill takes a ball low and inside, even the count up at 1-1. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning here from Bill Bruner Field as your Irish lead the BA Eagles 7-0. Thomas Swafford on the hill for BA as he bends that curveball in for a strike. 1-2 now on Hill. Hill playing third base. Like you mentioned, 1 for 1 here in the game today with the walk run and a single. As Faulkner takes his lead off second. As Hill fouls that one to the screen, he'll have another shot. One and two now for Hill with Brown on deck. Brown walked to follow Hill in that great second inning and was the last out as he grounded into an inning-ending double play. As Hill takes a ball at 2-2. Hill, the righty, playing third today for the Irish. Where's the purple number 20? Kick from Swafford and the pitch.
Change up there by Swafford.
Grounded to short. And Hill is out on a 6-3 grounder. That was Jarvis retiring Hill. Chased Faulkner back to second, looked him back, and then fired the throw off to first. Made sure that Faulkner wasn't going to try to sneak in behind him. So Hill is out 6-3. And with 2 outs, Brown, the DH, will step up. That one's skied in the air to left field a mile high. And Jarvis makes 2 plays to end the inning. Fly out to Jarvis there at shortstop. Back on the outfield grass. So that's all for the Irish. A quick inning here to close the bottom of the 4th. We'll be back at the top of the 5th. You're listening to Irish Baseball on the Behind the Crest Network. We're back here from the campus of Father Ryan High School as your Irish lead the BA Eagles 7-0.
At bat for the Eagles is Bedeau. 0 for 1, he ground out.
Grounded out 1-3 in the top half of the second as he takes that strike to even up the count at 1-1. As O'Dwyer opened with a ball to start the at-bat. That one brushes Bedeau back.
O'Dwyer's pitch count is now at 76.
So you've got to think, surprising that the bullpen hasn't started with any more
Especially
activity.
with the 7-0 lead. Ripped there by Bedeau.
That gets into left field for a base hit. And Simpson gets it back into the infield. So Bedeau leads off the 5th inning with a single. We'll see if BA can mount anything, trailing 7-0 here with only 3 innings to play. So Dwyer having gone 4+ innings and his pitch count up at 77, I believe.
77.
And Marciniak fouls one back, hits the top of the net behind home plate.
This is the
Excuse me.
100-meter dash. Next will be boys 100-meter dash. Then the 4x200-meter
You hear Coach
relay,
Kent in the background
and the
behind us.
1600-meter run.
Senior Hannah Dice came in, I believe, 3rd on that event. A St. Cecilia girl absolutely demolished the field.
So Marciniak here, 0-1 count. O'Dwyer kicks, fires, bunted down the first base line. Great bunt. Turnmeyer tried to charge, get it over to Granger. Throw was late, pulled Granger off the bag, so an infield bunt single from Marciniak. Good, very good placement. Trickled it right down the first base line.
200-meter relay and first call for the 1600-meter run.
So 2 on, no out for BA. As we're back to the top of the order and center fielder Smith steps up. 0-1 count. O'Dwyer kicks, fires, curveball high and outside. 1-1 count. Smith 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out today. So he'll look to break that trend. Ball up and out, 3-0. So Dwyer. Oh, I'm sorry. 2-0 it looks like. They hadn't reset the scoreboard. So the O'Dwyer brothers have a quick chat. And John returns to his place behind the plate. Andrew O'Dwyer kicks, fires, swing and a miss by Smith.
You know, Juan, you may be the first person I've ever heard say kicks.
I mean, watch that motion with his leg. That's a kick in every stretch of the word. As O'Dwyer operates from the stretch now with men on first and second. Fouled back there by Smith.
And you obviously grew up listening to the Marlins broadcasts.
I did.
I would listen to the Braves, and I would always hear Mr. Carey say the stretch in the pitch.
Yeah, definitely having grown up listening to the Marlins broadcast by Mr. Glenn Gaffner and Mr. Dave Van Horn. So if either of you two are listening today, I appreciate all the experience that I've had listening to you guys. As Smith strikes out, that'll be the first out of the inning. And Klein, the left fielder wearing number 1 for the Eagles, steps up to the plate. Grounds one to first. Turnmeyer gets it. Only play will be at first. And the throw pulled O'Dwyer off the bag. So they might call that an error on Turnmeyer.
Turnmeyer hesitated, and he had all the time in the world. Instead, he decided to look to second. He had the easy out at first.
So that moves Bedeau up to third. Marciniak to second. And now Klein reaches on the fielder's choice.
O'Dwyer's pitch count is up to 85. He's had 33 balls and 52 strikes. I believe this may be the end of O'Dwyer's night on the mound.
As Mascari comes out, joined by the infielders.
Joseph O'Connell's out in the
Bullpen.
and it's Fogue coming in.
Fogue usually a starter. Interesting there. Fogue might be coming into play infield.
Might just be ending the inning.
And it looks to be Fogue coming in for relief.
So Sage Warren's going to come out for the Irish. O'Dwyer will be taking over center field duties. Jay Alexander's going to be shifted to right field.
So, if I can get that all correct. So, Alexander over to right.
Yes.
Fogue in to pitch for the Irish now.
Assuming just for this inning, as O'Connell is still warming up in the bullpen.
And the other changes you mentioned are Warren out to right field.
And Warren coming out.
Warren coming out, excuse me.
Alexander replacing him in right field. And
So then the new center fielder would be... Were you able to tell?
O'Dwyer.
O'Dwyer. John or Andrew? Andrew, I'm
Andrew.
guessing.
And correction, it's not Fogue, it's Sam Donato.
Donato.
Is he a junior?
Donato's a sophomore.
Sophomore.
Graduate of St. Henry School. My alma mater for elementary school. So Donato will come in to pitch now for the Irish. Leading 7-0 here with 1 out in the top half of the 5th. And the starting gun goes off. Off to our left. So Fogue comes in. He'll have a quick chat with O'Dwyer. So now let's reset the defense for you. Donato pitching. John O'Dwyer catching. Infield first to third, we have Turnmeyer, Granger, Townsend, Hill. Outfield left to right, we have Simpson, Andrew O'Dwyer, and Jay Alexander. And I believe Connor Brown's still DHing here for the Irish. Low ball 1 here to get the at-bat started.
Nice snag there by John O'Dwyer, preventing that ball from hitting the backstop.
So Jarvis here, the left-handed hitting shortstop, comes up. Takes a strike, that'll even the count.
That ball was just above the torso, the lower torso, excuse me.
So Donato bounces one there, but O'Dwyer does well to stop it before it gets to the backstop. So 2-1 here on Jarvis. Jarvis, a sophomore, wearing number 7, playing shortstop for the Eagles. Gets one out to center field. Chasing back is O'Dwyer. He's not going to get there. Scoring from third is Bedeau. Holding at third is Marciniak. They'll only advance a base. Klein moves up to second, and Jarvis with the 1-out single to left gets the Eagles on the board for their first run of the night. So 7-1 here. The Irish still lead in the top of the 5th with 1 out, and base is still juiced. And Preston will come up. He's 0 for 2 on the day. Pop out to the catcher. Excuse me, 0 for 1. Pop out to the catcher and reaching on a fielder's choice in the 4th inning.
And what a crack there by Jarvis.
As Preston takes low. That's a ball, 1-0. So Jarvis on first, Klein to second, and Marciniak to third. Preston with a big rip there. Comes up empty. Evens the count at 1-1. Surprisingly, all the students have cleared off from the berm out behind center field. I guess they thought with a 7-run lead that we'd be pretty safe.
And actually, I think it was the rugby team. They're now practicing up on the upper field. I think they got here a little early just to watch their buddies play on the baseball field.
Definitely seems to be the case. As Donato kicks and fires, that one's low. Again, a good stop by O'Dwyer to keep the runner on third. So bases full of Eagles. 2-1 count on Preston. As Donato gets the sign, he likes it. Gets fouled off there by Preston. Back to the third base dugout where the Eagles are currently sitting. 2-2 with one out here in the top half of the fifth. Donato low, ball 3. That's a full count here on Preston. Wind starting to pick up here a little bit. It was calm for third and fourth inning. Now it seems to have picked back up a little bit as we started here in the fifth. Hard shot by Preston. That goes foul. Picked up by Simpson off the ricochet. That was a hard liner.
It's currently 73 degrees.
Definitely feels a little chillier now that the sun is peaked behind the clouds. As Preston steps out.
There's about a 12 miles an hour south-southwest wind.
Definitely seems to be having an impact here. As Donato looks in for the sign, he gets it, fires up and outside. That's ball 4 and a walk for Preston. So he gets the RBI. Moves Jarvis to second, Klein to third, and Marciniak scores, bringing the lead to 7-2 here for the Irish. And base is still full.
Michael Kolari just won his 200-meter event. Marcus Dean came in, I believe, 4th.
Kolari is senior for the Irish track team.
But you'll never see Marcus not smiling.
That is a true statement. Kolari and Dean, a great combination here on the track.
Kolari being recruited by all sorts of teams throughout the Southeast SEC Conference. Georgia, Ole Miss, Alabama, UTK, to name a few.
That junior class, really the junior and senior class, is really getting a lot of recruiting offers from Juwan Williams, getting a lot of offers for football. Bryce Vickers looking to pick up a few here in the next year for football. Jeremy Darvin, a defensive lineman.
Jonathan Vegas, Jonathan Spencer.
Big Vegas.
Whatever you want to call him.
The man of many names. And that walk was enough for Mascarius. He lifts Donato out and brings in O'Connell. So Joseph O'Connell is the new pitcher here for the Irish.
And as he begins his preparation, we'll take a timeout. You're watching Irish Baseball on the Behind the Crest Network.
And we're back here after the pitching change. O'Connell comes in, and his first pitch is laced out to center field by number 27, Clay Morrison. That'll play one more here for the Eagles, as Klein comes in to score after reaching on the fielder's choice. Jarvis up to third, Preston up to second. And Morrison on base here for the Eagles as they've mounted a 3-1 fifth inning. Kelton Reynolds, a junior, number 13, playing catcher tonight for the Eagles, comes up to plate. As he strikes one out to left field, Simpson over his head
snag
gets it.
there by Simpson.
Runner on third tags, that's Jarvis. Pardon me there. So Jarvis comes in to score on the sac fly, as Reynolds drives in the 4th run there for the Eagles. Simpson made a nice grab there over his head, Donley.
Yeah, definitely. He saw that it was going to be coming out, and I think he had to wait and judge it a couple more seconds due to this wind.
Yeah, this wind definitely gusting out here.
As we said, it's been up to at least at above 15 miles an hour according to my weather app, but right now it's at a slight 12 is what it says on, those are the exact words listed on my app.
So Victory now playing first base will step to the plate. Victory 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. Victory in the Eagles season opener pitched a no-hitter in Brentwood Academy's 5-0 win over Ensworth, and pitched last night's win as he takes low and outside. Runner takes off for third. Throw skips into left field.
Ball.
And once again, an error comes back to cost the Irish as Preston takes third on the steal and comes home on the throwing error by John O'Dwyer.
Lead is dwindling for the Irish. Just 2 now.
7-5 here, the Irish lead. As O'Connell looks in for the sign, Victory faces a 1-1 count. O'Connell kicks, fires. Low and outside, ball 2. As we mentioned, Victory last night in the victory 2-, no pun intended, over Father Ryan. The game was scoreless in the bottom of the 6th. BA scored 2 runs, held the Irish to 1 in the top of the 7th, and pulled out the 2-1 victory here. Actually, that game was at Brentwood Academy. As is typical here in high school baseball, they play a road. They alternate locations. So yesterday was at Brentwood Academy, today here at Father Ryan, and tomorrow with the series finale, we'll be back at Brentwood Academy. Victory low and outside, ball 3. He looks in to O'Connell. O'Connell delivers. That one goes into left field. Simpson with the throw back in to O'Dwyer, holding Victory at first.
Victory tempts O'Dwyer. Good stop there by O'Dwyer, realizing that if he does throw, that's going to probably cost him another run.
So first and third here for the Eagles, trailing 7-5. The tying man now on base. The go-ahead runner is Badeau as the Eagles have batted around here. And still only 1 out. The Eagles have gone on a rampage here. I'm sorry, 2 outs. There was a strikeout and a fielder's choice. Excuse me, strikeout and a sacrifice fly. So Badeau will come up. Single to start the inning in the 5th. After grounding out in the bottom of the 2nd, top of the 2nd. Strike 1 on the pitch from O'Connell. As O'Connell steps off briefly, gets back on the rubber. Looks in for the sign, he's ready. Pitch, fire, low and inside. Evens up the count at 1-1. On number 15, Evan Badeau, a sophomore, out in right field today for the Eagles. O'Connell ready. Fires. Long fly out to Simpson and left. He's got to run and get it. Makes the catch over his head. That'll end the inning. So Simpson involved in all 3 outs here as the Irish escape that jam, and they lead 7-5 going into the bottom of the 5th. We'll take a short break here watching Irish baseball on the Behind the Crest Network. And we're back atop Giacosa Stadium overlooking Bill Bruner Field. Cameron Towns steps in here for the Irish as he takes a strike inside. Take a quick look ahead here for Father Ryan. They have one more game tomorrow against Brentwood Academy. Then we'll have a series against JP2. We'll start out at JP2. They'll come here for one on March 31st. Then we'll finish back in Hendersonville on April Fool's Day. And that's not a joke. As Towns
tips one.
2 strikes here is the count. So he'll get another shot here against Swafford, who's still in there. Sharp grounder over to the third base side. That's foul. Swafford up to 49 pitches here. Excuse me, 50 pitches now it changes. 34 strikes, 16 balls. So definitely getting his work in here.
Very efficient.
Definitely. He's been in there since the 2nd inning, I believe. 2nd or 3rd inning.
I think
2nd. As Towns drills one foul. That's number 34, Ryan Franklin, a junior, warming up in the BA bullpen. Surprised to see no one warming up in the Irish bullpen. Pitch into Towns. Fouled back. And make that 5 off the Fine Arts Building today. As many balls off the Fine Arts Building as the Eagles have runs today in the game.
Around the track.
So a 2-strike count into Towns as he steps out. Back into the box. As he skies one to foul territory. And some miscommunication there
definitely.
As the catcher and first baseman each thought the other would have it.
Towns threw his bat down in
disgust.
Anger, yeah.
But he'll get another crack at it as that ball fell mercifully to the ground.
We're ready to
And he'll step back into the batter's box. Facing a 2-strike count, but definitely getting some new life there. After BA did not convert that simple pop-up. As Swafford misses outside with the curveball. Looks like another relay coming up here to our left on the track. 1-2 now on Towns. Takes low and inside. That one hopped. Evens up the count at 2. Irish leading 7-5 here on this gorgeous afternoon from Father Ryan High School. Towns drills one out to left. There to grab it is the left fielder, Klein. So 1 down here for the Irish. As Warren, I believe, will step up to the plate. Warren flew out in the 2nd inning.
And Warren is being lifted for a pinch hitter now.
Devin Crudell.
Devin Crudell, inducted this morning into the Cum Laude Society for being in the top 10% of the junior class in terms of academics and test scores. So congrats to Devin Crudell and all the juniors and seniors inducted into the Cum Laude Society this morning. Crudell, a righty, wearing number 21 for the Irish.
We're ready.
We'll see if this is a double switch or if this is just the straight switch in for Warren. Strike one there on Crudell. Kicks, fires from Swafford. That's a strike. Crudell chased one low and outside out of the zone. I cannot tell who that is from Father Ryan, but she is definitely making up ground, having started furthest back. But she is making up some ground there on the track.
Might be Kieran Callahan.
Either Kieran Callahan, maybe Natalie Davis.
Davis is out with a broken foot.
That's true. Forgot about that. You would think I would have noticed that. As Crudell takes a curveball low and inside, that'll leave the count up at 2. Swafford's pitch count up to 59. Excuse me, 60 now after that second ball. Grounder over to short. Bobbled there, and Crudell will make it to first without a throw. Reaching, they should call that an error on the shortstop Jarvis. So Crudell on the pinch hit comes in, reaches on an error on the shortstop Jarvis. So he'll be on with one out, and Granger, wearing number 7, batting here for the Irish, playing second base.
And warming up in the bullpen for the Irish.
And that is a Texas Leaguer single over the head of the first baseman. It's just out of the reach.
As I was saying,
Sorry, Donnelly.
that's fine. Warming up in the bullpen for the Father Ryan Irish, Cameron Towns and Keegan Folk.
So Towns might be an emergency reliever. As he talked to me this morning, he mentioned that he is a reliever and used in case of emergency situations. So that single over the head of Victory gets first and second here for the Irish with one out. So as Granger reaches on that single, we're back to the top of the order. And that is, looks to be O'Dwyer.
O'Dwyer.
Andrew O'Dwyer here. Grounded to second, should
Chance
be
for a
2.
double play. He should be called safe, and he
Safe
is.
he is at first. So fielder's choice there retires Granger. Crudell moves over to
This is
third,
first call for boys
and
girls
Andrew
400
O'Dwyer
meter
reaches
run.
on the fielder's
Second
choice
call
there.
Boys and girls 1600 meter run. Third and final call for the boys.
Goes
4x200
6-3 there. So with 2 outs, the Irish have first and third with a 2-run lead. And left fielder Kirby Simpson will come up here.
We need boys 4x200 meter relays on the track.
So you see Coach Kent in the background making the announcement for the boys 4x200 meter relay to make their way onto the track. First pitch to Simpson is low and outside for a ball.
Swafford's up to 65 total pitches now.
Simpson 0 for 2 on the day. Walk, ground out, and a strikeout back in the second. Big swing there, but gets nothing but air. Evens up the count at 1-1. As he looks over at Coach Mascari for the sign. Swafford ready. He'll kick and fire. That curveball misses low and away. So a 2-1 hitters count here for Simpson. Looking to get something going here with runners on first and third and 2 gone.
This is First call, boys and girls 4x1. Second call, boys and girls 1600. Third and final call, boys.
Pitch here to
4x2.
Simpson, grounded a second. Should be the final out of the inning, and it is. Goes 4-3 there. So Simpson is retired, straining 2 runners here in the bottom of the 5th. We'll be back with the top of the 6th. You're watching Father Ryan Baseball on the Behind the Crest Network. Welcome back to Father Ryan Baseball. We're high atop Giacosa Stadium. Coming up to bat now is number 13. I'm sorry, that is number 2. Cole Marciniak.
Everyone down in the infield. Everyone all the way down.
So Marciniak playing second base comes up here for the Eagles. And the new pitcher for the Irish is number 24, a senior, Cameron Towns. Towns, a 3-sport athlete here for the Irish. Was the starting quarterback in the fall for football. Was a small forward for Coach Bontrager and the varsity basketball team. And now is a shortstop and pitcher for Iron Mike, Mr. Mike Mascari here in the springtime for baseball. So Towns comes in to start the 6th inning to face Marciniak. It'll be Marciniak, Smith, and Klein here due up for the Eagles. First pitch from Towns is low, a ball to Marciniak. There's that gun once again. I didn't catch what event this is.
This is a 4x100 relay, 4x1 relay, I believe. One of the Irish runners is Bryce Vickers.
Is that Jawan Williams in the bright yellow socks?
That is a that's a public school. I believe
That
Jawan is on this relay team, though. I think
That-
he's in the second leg.
That looked like an Irish uniform to me. But that's why I wear glasses and contacts. Marciniak grounds to Towns. That's the first out of the inning. As Towns flips it over to Turnmeyer for the first out. Goes 1-3 on the ground out from Marciniak, and we're back to the top of the order. So Smith, playing center field, will come up to bat here for the Eagles.
And correction, it's Vickers to Elton Naquimbi, Naquimbi to Kalari, and Kalari to Jack Shoulders. This is one of the relays that broke 2 school records last year.
Definitely did. As Smith takes a strike, evens up the count at 1 apiece.
And they're going to win very handedly in this relay.
As Shoulders crosses the finish line well ahead of the Station Camp team.
As well as the FRA team.
Strike there to Smith. So 1 and 2 here for the Eagles.
This is first call.
And a swing and a miss there. He's gone.
Second call.
As John O'Dwyer applies the tag. As that ball briefly bounced in the dirt after the swing. So 2 outs here for the Eagles in the top half of the 6th. And it'll be Klein up. Klein is 1 for 2 with 2 strikeouts and a single. I'm sorry, 1 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a single.
Towns has almost a sidewinding motion.
He does. I was commenting in the commercial break how that's one crazy windup that Mr. Towns has out there, but hey, if it works, it works. So 2-0 here to Klein. Klein reached on that single in the 5th inning. That was part of the 5-run inning for BA. As he bounces one to past the first base coach. Foul. So 2-1 here on Klein. See if they can get a 2-out rally started. Skied into the short outfield. Diving catch there by Andrew O'Dwyer. So 2 spectacular diving catches in the outfield. And that'll end the top of the 6th inning. As O'Dwyer gets a chest bump from his brother behind the plate. So that's all for the Eagles here in the top half of the 6th. We'll be back in the bottom half as your Irish leads 7-5. You're watching Irish Baseball on the Behind the Crest Network. And we're back. And we're back here in the bottom half of the 6th inning as your Irish leads 7-5 over the Eagles of Brentwood Academy. And John O'Dwyer will step up to the plate here for the Irish. O'Dwyer is 3 for 3, 3 singles on the day. So a great hitting day here for O'Dwyer. High and outside, ball 1. That's a high strike there as Swafford evens up the count at 1-1. Swafford's pitch count is up to 70 now with 47 strikes and 23 balls. So doubling up strikes to balls. High and outside there, 2-1 here on John O'Dwyer. Like we mentioned earlier, John O'Dwyer, a linebacker in the fall for the football team. And part of the O'Dwyer battery, pitcher to catcher. here for the baseball team as he lines that one out to center field, but that is caught by Smith. So Dwyer's retired. And next up will be Turnmeyer, the left-handed hitting first baseman, who is 1 for 3 with a single and 2 strikeouts on the day. First pitch is low and outside for a ball. Stretch and fired from Swafford. Swing and a miss there. So Turnmeyer has the count at 1-1. That looked a hit. Turnmeyer, I don't know if I think he fouled that one off his ankle. Either his ankle or his lower leg. But he looks to be back in there. So 1-2 here on Turnmeyer. As the lefty-lefty matchup, Swafford and Turnmeyer. Big arching curveball there from Swafford. Bends just outside. 2-2 now on Turnmeyer. Pitch fired high and outside. Full count. So Mascari will be telling Turnmeyer to make sure he gets his pitch before swinging. And he does just that, fouling it off. We better watch out. Wow, just missed a group of people standing right at the fence in front of the track. When I said we need a warning horn up here, I meant it. And another curveball there by Swafford bends into the strike zone, and he gets Turnmeyer looking. So Turnmeyer caught looking there on the full count. So now he'll be 1 for 4 on the day. And now Hill will step in. Hill is 1 for 3. I'm sorry, 1 for 2. A walk, single, and a ground out as he takes the first pitch for a strike. Ground to the short. Jarvis over to Victory. And that's the third out of the inning. So a 1-2-3 inning here for the Eagles, as that's what exactly they needed. We'll head to the top of the 7th, and we'll see if Brentwood Academy can get 2 runs. Otherwise, we're going home happy here from 700 Norwood Drive. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with the top half of the 7th. You're watching Irish Baseball on the Behind the Crest Network. And we're back here, the top half of the 7th inning, as your Irish lead BA 7-5. BA needs 2 runs here in the top of the 7th to keep this game alive, as Towns delivers the first pitch for a strike there. That is to Jarvis. Jarvis 1 for 2 with a strikeout, walk and a single today, as he hits that one on a line. Bounces in front of Turnmeyer, skips over his head, throw over to Towns covering, and Jarvis is safe. Just beat the throw there from Turnmeyer. So exactly what BA needs here is a base runner to get this inning started.
That's Turnmeyer's second bobbled ball. Might cost them another run.
Definitely did. We'll see if they mark that a hit or an error up on the scoreboard. I think we'll have to give Turnmeyer an error on that one. We'll see what Coach Simpson puts in there. As Towns looks into Preston. And it is, in fact, an error on Turnmeyer. So Jarvis reaches on the error by Turnmeyer. That's hopefully doesn't prove too costly. And 1-0 here on Preston as Towns fires over on a pickoff attempt to first. Jarvis back standing up. So 1-0 here on Preston. That one
Outside the left-hand strike zone corner.
tried to backdoor that curveball, just misses inside to Preston. So 2-0. And exactly what you don't want if you're Father Ryan is giving BA new life heading into the 7th inning. Low ball 3, so I'm pretty sure Preston will be taking unless this one's right down Broadway. Preston, a junior, wearing number 12, takes a strike there from Towns. Preston anchoring the hot corner at third base today for the Eagles. And he'll look to drive one in. Big swing there. Comes up empty. So a full count on Preston. You would think that Jarvis will be running on the pitch. He's not. Fly out to center field. That'll drop in for a hit. Throw by O'Dwyer to try to get Jarvis the runner at second. Skips by the second baseman, but the pitcher Towns there to back it up. So good smart there play by Towns to make sure that that throwing mishap by O'Dwyer didn't cost them. And now Mascari will come out to have a chat with his infielders.
Randy Hightower or a Father Ryan trainer, we need you at the start line. We need one of the Father Ryan trainers at the start line, please.
So first and second for the Eagles now with none out. And we'll see if Mascari decides to stick with Towns. It looks like that'll be the call. So Towns will stay in to face Clay Morrison as Jarvis advances to second and Preston to first on the single out to center field.
I think it's over.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they walk over here and you go, break all eyes. Just go down to that corner.
We need a Father Ryan trainer at the start line, please.
So Towns here to face the left-handed Morrison. Morrison the DH tonight. Irish leads 7-5, but no out. And BA has runners on first and second. And no one warming up in the Irish bullpen, so this game is Towns' all the way. As he delivers a fastball low and outside, ball 1 to Morrison. Kicks and fires into left center. That'll drop for a hit. Simpson fields it on the bounce. Gets the throw back in. And BA really threatening here. Now base is juiced.
First call, 400 meters.
And that'll be
Second call, 4x100.
Kelton Reynolds, the junior catcher, coming up to bat here as the tying run moves to second. Go ahead run on first now. And still no one out here in the top half of the 7th inning.
Juan just received word from our cameraman Brandon that the softball team lost a tough one 3-2 after a pop-up blooper called winning score in. So they lose 3-2 over Harpeth Hall.
So tough break there for the softball team. Hopefully the same fate does not happen here across the path against Brentwood Academy. Ball skips away there from O'Dwyer, but he's back to retrieve it and no one advances. So 1-0 is the count here on Reynolds. So first to third base now. We have Morrison on first, Preston at second, and Jarvis over at third. An error and 2 singles here in the top half of the 7th inning, really costing the Irish. As Reynolds faces a 1-1 count here against Towns. Towns with the windup, fouled back to the screen by Reynolds. So a 1-2 count. As we see Sean Vance to our left in this relay. Not a relay.
I think it's a 2-mile.
2-mile. Fly ball out to Simpson and left. He plays it. Tagging from third. No. Holding.
Simpson was able to get that ball in quick enough to prevent a score there by
Jarvis. Jarvis took a few steps toward home, anticipating a throw to be cut off. And it was cut off, but Irish were able to keep Jarvis at third and not allow any advancement on the base paths. So 1 out here, 7-5 Irish lead. And Victory will come to the bat. Strike 1. Victory, the left-handed hitting first baseman. As we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, had a no-hitter in the Eagles' season opener against Ensworth. So congrats to him. Taps one to second. This could do it. And I say that, and Granger bobbles the play. So Jarvis comes in to score there on the error by Granger. Preston moves to third. Morrison over to second. And Victory reaches on that E4. So with 1 out, BA now only trails by 1 with the tying run 90 feet away at third base. And the go-ahead run just 90 feet behind him at second. So Preston at third is the tying run. Morrison the potential go-ahead run. That's a shot out to left field. Simpson makes the catch. In to score will be Preston. So the Irish give up a big lead. But with 2 out, hopefully can escape any more damage. As Preston comes in to score, Morrison held at second, and Victory held at first. So a blown save here by Towns costs O'Dwyer a win. O'Dwyer pitched a great game here, but unfortunately will not be credited with the win. Soft liner out to Granger at second by Marciniak. And that is all for the Eagles, but they come back with 2 runs in the top half of the 7th, and we're all tied at 7 going to the bottom half of the 7th inning as your Irish will look to walk it off here from Norwood Drive. We'll be back in a flash as your Irish will look to go home happy. You're watching Behind the Crest Network with Irish Baseball. back here atop Giacosa Stadium overlooking Bill Bruner Field as the sun is peaking just below the buildings here on the beautiful campus of Father Ryan High School. New pitcher in for Brentwood Academy is Hodge, number 11. He's a right-hander. And that first pitch to Matt Faulkner is a ball. Faulkner fouls off the next one, so 1-1 count.
I believe this is the first time Faulkner has been at bat.
Yes, it is. Faulkner chases that one 1-2 as he'll have Towns right behind him. Faulkner grounds one to short. Handled by Jarvis. Throw over to first. Retires Faulkner. So one gone here in the 7th inning as Faulkner grounds out 6-3. Excuse me, that new pitcher looks to be number 34, Franklin, for BA. My apologies there. As first pitch into Towns is outside. Towns swings the next one. Gets all of air. So 1-1 count here on Towns. Curveball backdoor just caught the inside corner. And it's 1-2 here. With looks to be Devin Crudell standing on deck. Towns fouls that one back to the screen. There's a big gap there in left center field, so if Towns can get a hold of one. And as I say that, he swings and misses there. So a third strike there, strikeout from Franklin. 2 gone here for the Irish. And pinch hitting for Crudell will be number 11, Keegan Fogue. So Faulkner steps in.
Called.
So Faulkner steps in as the DH. Fogue in the shortstop. And Towns is the pitcher. And now 2 quick strikes on Fogue. As Franklin steps off the back of the mound, he'll take a moment. Wind up, fires. High and outside on Fogue. 1-2 the count. Kicks, delivers. Fouled off the top of the screen. So still 1-2 there on Fogue. I mentioned the left center field gap. If Fogue can get a handle of one there, or if he slices one out to right field, he might get extra bases.
Swing
and a
strike
miss.
3.
But the ball gets away from the catcher, so Fogue can advance to first.
What a break for the Irish.
Definitely is, as now in the bottom of the 7th, any score here will walk off, be a walk-off win for the Irish. So Fogue advances on the strikeout and the error by the catcher. And now Granger, the left-handed hitting second baseman, will step to the plate. Granger 2 for 3 with a strikeout and 2 singles. And he is hit by the pitch. So
puts one Irishman in the scoring position.
Yep. And now back to the top of the order as we flip the lineup once again, and that's Andrew O'Dwyer stepping to the plate. So Fogue moves to second, Granger to first. First pitch to O'Dwyer is high.
You know, Juan, I don't know why your rally cap's not on.
Good call. should probably put it on. Strike there from O'Dwyer. Evens the count at 1-1. Franklin looks in for the sign. He accepts it. Stretch fires. O'Dwyer fouls it back to the screen, 1-2. So a strike here for BA can close the inning, but a single from Father Ryan could win this game, depending on where the single is. Outfielders are in, anticipating a play at the plate, and O'Dwyer fouls it back off the top of the net. So all three outfielders are in. Infield is back. So any single into the outfield, there will definitely be a play at the plate here on Fogue. O'Dwyer fouls another one back. That'll be, I believe, the fifth. Yes, that's the fifth pitch of the at-bat, and 3 fouls off to the same spot of the net. Fortunately for maintenance, I don't think that hit anything. So Franklin looks in, takes a look back at Fogue, now back at O'Dwyer, and O'Dwyer swings and misses. That's strike 3. So that'll end the inning here as we're tied at 7. We'll have some free baseball here from Norwood Drive as Franklin gets a celebratory chest bump from his teammates going into the dugout. We're headed to the top of the 8th here as the sun has really started to fall. We'll take a short break and we'll be back in a flash on the Behind the Crest Baseball Network. Welcome back here. We're in the top of the 8th inning, so extra innings here from Bill Bruner Field on the beautiful campus of Father Ryan High School as the first pitch from Towns is in for a strike. And an interesting note here by my fellow color commentator Donnelly Wolf, we've only got about 18 minutes more of sunlight, so if the Irish cannot close this out here in the bottom of the 8th, we may be looking at a tie ball game going into the record books.
Boys and girls, 300-meter.
Towns got strike 2 across on the batter, Smith. Smith taps one over to third.
Check swing.
And he's out at first. Almost beat the throw there, but Turnmeyer kept his foot on the base for the first out of the top of the 8th. And like Donnelly mentioned, sunset scheduled at 7:02 p.m. tonight, and with it currently being 6:45, we're really going to have to hustle to get this bottom of the 8th in if we want to finish this game in sunlight.
You can see Bill Brunner Field is not equipped with lights.
We have lights here on the football field, but those lights are not able to be turned back to the baseball field.
I was talking to Colin Fitz about that the other day. So Klein at bat, he's 1 for 4. He rips one down in between the second baseman and shortstop. So Klein gets on base with the single.
Up to bat now will be Jarvis, the shortstop. 1 for 3 with a single, a walk, a strikeout, and reaching on an error. He reached on that error by Turnmeyer, the ball that bounced over his head. That sparked the whole BA rally. So he'll step up. Towns looks for a pickoff on Klein. Klein back standing up. Another pickoff attempt. This one a little closer, but Klein still beats it standing up. Now, I don't mean to be a pessimist here, but if you're Cameron Towns, you want to give your team a chance to hit this inning and just focus on the hitter. But Coach Mascari seems to have a plan in mind, and we'll see what he runs with here. Pitch low and outside to Klein, to Jarvis. Second one in the same spot, called a ball as well. So 2-0 here on Jarvis. Klein on first, and the left-handed hitting Jarvis against the right-handed Towns. Strike there from Cameron. So 2-1 here in the top of the 8th from Bill Bruner Field. Irish looking to get this one to the bottom of the 8th and hopefully walk this off. High and outside, 3-1 to Jarvis. Towns looks in for the sign. He'll operate from the stretch here with the man on first. Sets, ready. Strike 2 on the outside corner. Great pitch there from Cameron. Great fastball, it just hit the corner. So Towns looks in for the sign on this full count pitch. Goes to pick off, and he is out! Great throw there by Towns to nail Klein right as he was able to get back to the base. So a great pickoff there by Towns. And that really eliminates the threat here from BA, at least for the moment, as now the bases are empty and 2 outs here in the top half of the 8th. Jarvis still at bat, and he fouls it back to the screen, and the count will remain full. Now, Donnelly, I heard a big cheer coming from the stadium. Could you tell who it was that won that race?
There was a error penalty called on Father Ryan due to a drop of the baton on the relay. So they were in first place. They were winning by a landslide. And unfortunately, the pass between Elton and Bryce just wasn't sound. They dropped it and cost them the race.
Wow. And that pitch by Towns is up and away. So Jarvis draws the walk, and he'll replace Klein on first. Up to bat now is Preston. So 2 gone here in the top of the 8th. Jarvis on first, and Preston up to bat here for the Eagles. Curveball bends in, hits the corner for Towns. So he'll have 1 strike here on Preston. Looking to close out this inning. Due up for the Irish, we should have, I believe that'll be Simpson. Simpson, Faulkner, and Turnmeyer. 2 strikes here on Preston as Towns looks to close out this inning and get the Irish 1 last at bat. Steal attempt.
Errant throw,
and Jarvis will advance to third. And he slides in safely under the tag. So a costly throwing error there by John O'Dwyer, as the throw flew over the second baseman's head, Granger. And that allowed Jarvis to get up quickly and score on the throw. Or, to advance to third.
Possibility for Jarvis to score now,
as he's only 90 feet away.
with a single by Preston.
Preston 1-2 count, takes a high ball outside. 2-2 evens the count. Towns looks in for the sign. He likes it.
Sets, fires. Flied out to O'Dwyer to end the inning. I lost that ball in the sky. Now with the sun going down, it's hard to see this ball as it goes into the air. But Town strands Jarvis at third. So that means another at bat here for the Irish. We'll come back in a flash. This is Behind the Crest Network with Irish Baseball. Welcome back to the campus of Father Ryan High School, as your Irish are tied with the BA Eagles 7-all in the bottom half of the 8th. You're getting some free baseball here from Behind the Crest.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Donnelly. And Donnelly, you mentioned to me in the break in between innings, in between the half inning, excuse me, we've got about 10 minutes left of sunlight. So it'll be really interesting here. Hopefully the Irish can walk off and we'll all go home happy.
Projected for the sun to go down at about 7:02. It's currently 6:54. So just under 10 minutes until we may have to call this game.
Simpson takes a ball that'll even the count at 1-0. Grounder to second. Bobbled for a moment but recovered. And Simpson is retired at first base. That'll go 4-3 on the ground out. That's Marciniak to victory. You can hear the wind gusting behind us. Now Trey Ramsey, I believe, will be pitch hitting. Although it looks like that's still number 2.
It is it's 8, John O'Dwyer.
8, okay. So Dwyer stays in there. He'll bat here in the bottom of the 8th, looking to get on here in advance of the big hitters Turnmeyer and Hill. Takes a ball low and outside, 2-0. Pitch here from Franklin. Low again, 3-0.
No, Dwyer's had a good night at the plate. He's 3 for 4 with 3 singles and 1 line drive. Caught by the left fielder, Easton Klein.
And O'Dwyer draws a 4-pitch walk. So he'll take first base. Funny, he was running so fast, I thought he was going to slide into first there. So Dwyer takes first base on the walk, bringing up Turnmeyer. Turnmeyer 1 for 4 with a single and 3 strikeouts. So he'll look to turn around his day. And he could do so right here.
Double play called. Foul line drive right to the third baseman, Warren Preston. Preston then slings it over to Victory to turn 2 on the Irish.
And I don't think O'Dwyer even saw that ball being hit because he was completely caught off guard.
And the umpire has just called the game. So today's
final score will be a tie at 7. Father Ryan and Brentwood Academy will close this game tied. We will finish this game due to darkness. So reminder, we'll have one more tomorrow at Brentwood Academy at 4:30 p.m.
No, they'll have one more tomorrow.
That's true. We will not be at that broadcast.
Behind the Crest will also have one more broadcast. It'll be tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. We'll be broadcasting the girls lacrosse when they face off against USN. I'll be there, be kicking off the broadcast at around 6:40-ish. So love to have you out. It'll be hopefully a heck of a matchup.
So tonight's game ends in a bit of disappointment as the Irish led 7-0, but were unable to close the game with a win as Towns gave up the final 2 runs in the 7th inning, and we'll end this game tied here after 8 innings. We'll close the game due to darkness. So again, one more tomorrow at BA. Start time is 4:30 on that first pitch. Then we'll have a 3-game set against JP2. That'll begin on Monday, March 30th, and we'll go through Wednesday, April 1st. We'll start out at JP2, come back home on March 30th.